I, for today's teardown, not one but 2 times the same item. Of course, I will only tear down one of them. So they are fresh from eBay, and I got them both for 24 euros. They are military test sets, and they are upside down. Excuse me for this. So what do we have here? We have Wattmeter for testing IFF transponders on fighter on military aircraft, made by LMT company. The model number is LMT-RP. There are other infos on the manufacturer plate. So they were sold for parts only, and not working because at least one PCB was removed inside for confidentiality purpose, as they are military equipment test device. You can see on this one we are missing RF plugs, so I will tear down today the most complete one. And according to the condition, either I will probably keep one in my collection, if not I will scrap both, but I will get lots of parts. As you can see, there are connector covers. There is a dummy load here on a BNC connector. Nice military switches. We have LED displays. I hope there will be nice displays. And a lot of hardware and other stuff. So it will be for sure an interesting teardown. The case is just Hammerton paint, as you can see, with screws to remove in order to open the thing. In the covers we have attachment points for something, some accessories, which was removed also. Okay, now I will test power one of the device in order to see what it does. Okay, so there is an internal battery pack, so I am applying power directly on the battery terminals, and we can see we have a switch here between mains, stop and battery. Mains position will remain selected, but battery is temporary. And as you can see, it is turning on. We have a nice LED displays here, it seems, giving some random numbers, some status LEDs here, and it reacts when I move this button. So the battery power on button is temporary. Maybe it is in order to avoid keeping it powered on battery, to save power. And here we have buttons. I do not know what it does. Nothing. And there are several positions, but as it is missing at least one PCB, it is just doing random things. So what do we have else? Here is the mains, the plug to connect mains for power supply. We have here one coax for reply answering. One over here, antenna coax, and mode for coax with, look at this, very nice connector with a small coax conductors inside. So this is not usual. By the way, just these connectors cover are worth something and will be interesting to keep for reuse. But I am seeing here, nice guys, a very nice LED display that may be very interesting to reuse, and probably vintage design. So the devices have date codes from 1991 or 1992, and I can hear a high-pitched noise from a transformer, something like so, when it is powered on. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so now I will put the camera overhead and we will start taking it apart. Okay, before I open the cover, here are the manufacturer plates made by STTE, it seems. It is called the IFF test set number BB39C. Serial number is 401 and that code is April of 1982. I guess the real name of the manufacturer is LMT. It was a French company making telephone equipment and things like this. And maybe we have another serial number here for accessories, or maybe a special classified PCB which was removed inside. So this device comes directly from Air Force Base surplus. Here is the no conformity tag when the equipment was removed from service. It was removed from service in December 2014, and there is even the name of a sergeant who removed it from service. I did it of course, but it is written here. And here there is an URL to a website of Air Force Base with instruction on about how to use the tag system, it seems. I will maybe try to check if I can access it, but maybe it would be some kind of intranet. Okay, now I will remove the cover and we will have a look at what we have inside this thing. Okay guys, let's remove the cover. Here is what we have inside. So we have here a missing PCB. I guess it was a classified PCB and it was removed. We have two circuit boards here. We have a power supply module in here with battery, nickel cadmium pack. And here we have a high frequency module with coax cables going to the front panel plugs. Here we have a front panel with the display PCB. I will remove it in a second. At the bottom of the thing, in fact, we have nothing. It is just a complete case panel. So, and it looks like there is some kind of sub-assembly here, sub-chassis with all the wirings. Okay, now I will remove the PCBs one at a time. Let's start with the most interesting one, probably this one with the displays, which are really nice. It is worth zooming in. So we have here, guys, 4 smart LED displays from Texas Instruments. They are model TIL 308, and these things are still worth at least 20 euros each on eBay. And there is even a dude selling them 75 euros. I have a total of 8 of them, as I have 2 devices. So just for these things it was a good deal, because I paid with shipping I paid 29 euros for both devices. Here we have a pretty boring red LEDs, but this only is really worth the deal. Then I will remove PCBs one at a time. Here we have an insulating plate, very nice quality, can be reused for projects. We have here one PCB with, how is it called? It is called just with numbers. We have no conformal coating, by the way, and you can see here it looks like IC was replaced. So what do we have on here? We have SN 54 series by Texas Instruments, almost everything. They are mill grade ceramic package. So I do not know at all what they do, but I guess they are just logic chips. It does not seem we have a processor in this. Quartz here, another here, a bunch of test points. On nice golden military grade connector, of course. There is a little puller handle on the PCB. So here is the first one. Second PCB. More of the same stuff. Two trim pots. And made in France connector by Connectral. And very nice orange capacitors here. 10 nano and 1 nano capacitors. So these PCBs are probably worth keeping as collectors by themselves. Then we have here you can see the front panel, how it is made. It is a die-cast, aluminum die-cast piece. And all the fasteners are aircraft grade with captive nuts and such. Now I will remove this power supply. Well, try to at least. I can see here a screw, which is not a screw, it is just a quick release fastener. And we have two more of them here. I guess I may be able to remove the power supply now. Let's make sure I am in focus first, because with the camera you never know, sometimes you have bad surprises. Okay, so it is quite easy. Here is the battery pack, all the nickel cadmium battery pack by Varta. Seems to be a nice quality, but I guess they are dead. I did already disconnect the wires in order to test the device. Yes. Replaced in 1998, it seems. Oh, they are very rugged battery packs. By the way, there is no information written on it. But it seems we have 4 big batteries. So it must be doing, making some thing around 6 volts. And I did power it, the device with 6 volts, and it did power on. I did try a low, because I did not know how many it was. Okay, so this is the battery pack. Attached in the frame with this metal rod. We can now have a better look at the front panel stuff. So the mill-grade connectors, circular connectors, wiring loom at the bottom. And here you can see the sub-assembly for the chassis with just wiring behind it. And attached with this captive aircraft grade nuts. Here we have the power supply assembly. Looks like it is a pretty simple linear power supply. We have transformer here, big smoothing capacitor here, and just a few components. There is this thing here, which is just a rubber piece attached to this heatsink with holes. It is quite neat the way we made it. And there is one 9-pin connector to connect to the device. No conformal coating also, quite weird for a military grade device. Well, it was a test set, but in a workshop sometimes it can be cold and moist, so it should be nice to have conformal coating, or maybe you can use it on the field, on the on the runway to test something before the aircraft takes off. Quite interesting. We are left with the high frequency assembly. You can see we have two coax here. So I hope we will have interesting stuff inside this. It come off. Yes. So I disconnect these two wires. You can see we have more ICs here on the test points on this shielded box, which we will have a look inside right now. On this PCB we have something shielded here. There is nothing written on it. Quite interesting, probably to open it and see what it is. More SN54 series chips from Texas Instruments. And we have this shielded box which must contain goodies. So let's remove the screws real fast and discover what we have inside. I hope it will be full of interesting stuff. Guys, surprise, suspense. What do we have behind this cover? Ta-da! And no! No! Oh no! It was taken apart and the parts were all removed, except here for the remains of a little ceramic hybrid module. But everything is empty, and I can see fingerprints of a guy who did it. Oh, so it is why both devices will be scrapped, because in fact they are both in the same condition. I guess this was sensitive equipment here, and it was removed before the device was sold to surplus. How sad is this, guys? There is still some kind of an assembly here. Here is the cover. You can see it is silver coated, and there is this kind of assembly. I will undo it. So there is a very nice hybrid module here. Well, the remains of it, you can see it is pretty sad. It was tampered. There is solder all over it, so it is not worth keeping either. Yes, so I will scrap both of the devices, because anyway they are quite bulky, so I cannot keep such stuff. I will just keep the interesting parts and of course the LED displays and all the hardware. So here we have what seems to be two metal parts with screws you can adjust. So maybe it makes some kind of a capacitor, when you a frequency capacitor, when you screw it. And apart from that, we have just nothing left in here. It is really sad. I was expecting to find nice high frequency stuff in these devices, but as they were really cheap, anyway, it is always a good find to have the opportunity to take apart military grade equipment for cheap. But as you can see, it is just quite sad we don't have the high frequency equipment, but you cannot always win. Well, I think I do not lose here, because this only is worth 100 euros of displays, so I am good here. Okay, now I will try to take a little bit apart the chassis for you. So I hope it will fit under the camera. It is not easy. So you can see we have here the BNC demi-load that is good to take. It seems we have this panel is hiding screws attaching the main the front piece to the chassis. So this is worth keeping. And I have, oops, excuse me, every one of the other connectors. I am not in focus anymore, it seems. Okay. It is really annoying with this camera. I have to check all the time if I am in focus. But hopefully I will soon receive a GVC camcorder with a bad LCD display flat flex that I will be able to replace. And it may be a nice new camera. It is a GVC Everio camera. I hope it will be working and I will be able to use it. So, more screws to undo. Okay. Now I have all of these little screws that must be hiding some other screws, but it will require some delicate work to remove them. So for now I will undo this bottom piece here. Looks like I have this to undo. I'm not even sure if they are the correct ones I did remove, yes. And 2 more screws here. So we have this should be coming off. No, but it is not coming off. It is interesting because yes, because of stuff in the way. We have at least this screw here to undo with a grounding wire, and we have 2 more screws here and here. So I will save every possible piece of hardware in this thing because it is a craft guide hardware. Okay. Now it is some kind of coming off, but there is all the wire loom keeping it in place. You can see just wires behind this. Okay, let me deal with the front plate and I will be right back with focus, I hope. Okay, I am back. I did remove this front panel piece and I have 2 more screws to remove in order to be able to undo the front panel. So they are very nice quality screws, of course. This one is hidden in the corner, it is not easy to reach. Here we are. Okay. And now I did already undo this. I have still to undo this the power supply connector. Okay, maybe yes. We have here a wire retainer thing, zip tie, in fact, nothing less than a zip tie, and I should be able to pull everything out. Yes, we are left with an empty frame, and we can now have a better look at this piece. So as you just noticed, I have some white balance problems due because of my new light, but I believe it is not a too big deal. So here is the wire loom. You can see the front piece is made with die-cast aluminium. There is manufacturing date here and even a serial number. And we have all the backs of connectors, switch here. Here a little device which is the input voltage selector button, and it seems just this part is a really nice quality item. Yes, it is a little rotary switch made by Secme France. So just this piece is interesting, and of course we have the EV.E switches here. All the wires can be reused also, and we have these very nice connectors in here with this incredibly nice wire loom. So I will need to spend some time to take all this apart, but I will salvage everything I can out of this thing. Also the power supply, maybe I can reuse directly the power supply. In fact, it is a modular thing. There is but I do not like the fact you have a mains and input and DC output on the same little connector here, because there is only one connector. This transformer is written for 110 and 220 volts, and yes, it outputs 8 volts, it is written on it. So we have some finger ruled 8 or 6 volts here and 220 on the same connector. It is not good. Some adjustments here, a fuse. Okay, and of course, because we like them, we love them, even the very nice displays. So I have some work now to clean all this mess. Thanks for watching, bye bye.